I'm going to do with selection 2 the same thing that I did with selection 1. Do a deck build, and then at the end show the brawl deck. And then the next build after this one is going to have an expansion of the brawl deck. So in this case, I'm going to do Mardu Knights, and unlike selection 1, which was, there's a shift in what I build in selection 1. In selection 1, I think I started with a Naya Knights, and then when I looked at the brawl deck, it was clearly a Jund deck with no Knights. And so in this case, it's going to be different. In this case, I'm building a Mardu Knights before, and then I'm building a Mardu Knights after. So this is the before. This is going to be centered on Kaalia. And Kaalia, Flying Vigilance 3/3/3. Not fantastic, not a really strong card by itself. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Of course, very, very good in Commander. 3, 4, it's never that great. 6 is better. Yeah, bigger is better because the decks are bigger. So 6 in Commander is the equivalent of, what, 4, 3 in Standard? And then you may reveal an angel, demon, or dragon, okay? And put them into your hand, and then put everything else in the bottom of your library. So the last time when we looked at the selections, we really only had a few angels, but didn't have any demons, and then also a few dragons, okay? So, oh, and another thing is I will discuss the mana base that I have so far for selection 2 in this video, the intro video. These are my knights, and of course, I'm sorry I had to hit the tripod because it's right in front of me. I apologize. Then these are like the planeswalkers, other legendaries, and then the multicolored cards. All right, and I'm going to select those first, and then get going. Now, in the case of the piles are shorter, smaller this time, because I'm beginning to trim commons. Now, it is true that I could be even and do everything that I do for selection 1 with selection 2, but I just don't have that kind of time. And I'm trying to make the videos, if you cannot believe this, as short as possible, even though I don't do editing. So I took down every single selection of commons to fewer than 20 for the colors. So white, or approximately 20. I didn't really do a number, specific number. I just trimmed down cards that I knew were never going to make it. And I've trimmed down cards that are never going to make it, that keep showing up in build after build after build. I think we're past that for this latter phase of the standard of 5 sets. Now, when Theros 2 comes out, I don't know. I think I'm going to run through with those silly commons in Theros for a while, and then eventually I'll trim those. All right, so what are my angels, demons, and dragons? And they're all going to go in. All right, so Aurelia, of course, fantastic. Then these are casual angels that all came from the toolkit. I believe every single one of them. Maybe this one is not in the toolkit. I don't remember. I think it was. And then I pulled this beauty recently. Incredibly enough, this card is in one of the guild kits. So I have it in the Ravnica Mega Cube that I finished this year, 2019. So it's in, and of course the 2 dragons that have been in. I would love to replace Shivan with something else, but for now I think we're gonna fly with those. So all my fatties, effectively all my fatties, are gonna be these 8 cards. I mean, I'll have a few more, and then well, let me talk about the mana base. Not so much to get it out of the way, but just to show that in the future I will be discussing the mana base. Not in this build, but once I add the brawl deck, and also I've decided, since I don't have enough money and I probably will not come across them at Target, I'm not going to buy second rounds of the brawl decks unless I find them during one of the summer drives. And so I'm going to keep the brawl deck intact. I'm going to show it, I'm going to expand it in the next build, and then it's just going to go away. I'm not going to put it into the selection. All right, so this selection has, and I was looking at these cards yesterday night, this selection has 7 of the 10 Guildcades. Okay, so that's pretty good for now. Eventually, I expect it'll have all 10 because I think I will continue to crack from Ravnica 3 as the new sets get issued. In the toolkit, you have one of each. You have 2 of each of the 10 colors. So these are really your complete selection of dual lands, all entering tapped. Then you have a Gateway Plaza, an Evolving Wilds, which of course the Brawl decks also have an Evolving Wilds. I have the white, the blue, and the green of the common lands from Throne of Eldraine. I've got this uncommon land. And then I only have one of the rare monocolor lands from Throne of Eldraine. Then I've got 1 temple. And I have 2 shock lands. And of course, if I do Abzan, white, black, green, which I will do with this specific selection at some point. I've mapped out the next 4 or 5 rounds somewhere. Okay, and then of course for the Planeswalkers, I think I want to include all 3. I think I want to prevent damage, and I think I want to cause a little bit of discard. I want to disrupt my my opponents, and I want to drop tokens. I'm on combat. I mean, I've already made a Mardu build with this selection 2, and so it's all about combat. So yeah, I want tokens, and yeah. Then this guy is great, but as one of my great subscriber was mentioning, this guy, it'd be great to build an Orsov deck or something else, but this guy prefers vampires, and I have yet another Sorin. The other Sorin is in Selection 2, so Selection 2 has 2 vampire Planeswalkers. I think at some point I'm going to make a build with the vampires from the Ixalan Cube that I was working on. I don't have something similar for Selection 1, so I think I'm going to wait so I can pair them up. I can do that for Selection 2, do a vampire Ixalan build, and I don't really know what Selection 1's going to get that's going to match it. But yeah, this guy is in, of course, even though his outside the game will be made a vampire for no particular reason in this particular deck. This guy is great. So yeah, he's definitely in. And then the multicolored, I'm going to be a little picky. Well, I'm always going to be picky. So let's make some selections here. Talk about the knights, and I think that'll probably wrap up this specific video. And then in the next video, I'll go into the creatures. The creatures build, I think it will fit one video because I have a lot fewer cards now that I've cleaned out all my commons that never make it. In this selection, I'm pinging. So anything that hits for 1 when it dies is good, so I'll say yes. Then these guys, deals 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker, that's great. And then 3 damage to target opponent. Yeah, anything that deals damage is really in this deck. I really like the +3/-3 trick. And then destroy non-basic land is actually good. I'm not crazy about land destruction because I think it is very effective, and I agree with the Wizards people who have really ramped it down. I think he's called Dwarfen Miner from Legacy. Oh man, some little nothing card that you can kill lands with. Oh my god. I've played that card just because I wanted to know how it played. Talk about hate, and I get it because it's happened to me. I have played games where somebody takes me down to 1 land from like 7. It is very unfun. But still, if it's a non-basic land, I'll take it. This guy's good. It's got haste, a bear. And you may sacrifice a creature, you don't have to. So yeah, some creatures you may want to sacrifice, maybe one of your tokens. This guy is also pretty good. Target player, you cause the target player to sacrifice. Causing target player to sacrifice is a great way to get around things that are hexproof, because hexproof will have to be sacrificed if the person only has, say, 1 creature and it's got hexproof. It's a great little trick. 4/4/3, destroy target creature. Yeah, why not? Exile target permanent, convert a mana cost 4 or greater. Yeah, get rid of something really big. This guy is fantastic. The entire cycle from Ravnica 3 of double guild colors they're all great. They're just, for me at least, they're auto includes. Fantastic card. Yep, of course, absolutely. And yes, this card is great. Recent pull, yeah, I'll put it in. It's a little heavy, but it's got lots of bonuses. It gives -1/-1 to your opponent. It gives +1/+1 to your creatures. I mean, to -1/-1 to your opponent's creatures. And it's got a nice little exiling from your opponent's graveyard. And then you get to create tokens. And they're spirits with flying. That's great. Has double strike as long as you control a gate. That's not fantastic, but he's multicolored, and I've got cards in here that help you if you have multicolored permanents, so I'll take it. And this guy's fantastic. He's been an auto include so far, and I'm gonna keep this card in. It may go out as I thin out the deck, but one thing that I really like about this card is a desperation move, but it's a great way to come back from a board wipe or a really bad combat situation where you just got slaughtered. Because if you have nothing left on the board, no creatures on the board, you can take out everything that is 3 or less. That is not hexproof. So yeah, I'll take it. All right, so I think that's going to be. Oh, I'm going to talk about the knights. I forgot about that. These are all auto includes, even though some of them clearly totally suck. But this is a very casual knights deck. And so half the creatures are going to be knights, just like in the case of Naya Knights. The selection will definitely get better when I add the Brawl deck. All right, so this guy is now in both selections, and I don't remember if he came from the toolkit or not. But all of these dudes and doodads are auto includes in the deck. And of course, between this video and the next, I'm gonna figure out how many creatures and non-creatures I have. Just so I know what to add, because I think I'm going to try to keep everything that I've chosen so far that I have discussed. So all of these knights are in. They have been discussed in previous builds, so I'm not going to go through them, but some of them are kind of sucky. I mean, these guys are all kind of sucky. They're sucky knights. They're not great cards. They're here because they're knights, not because they're great. Hopefully after the knights Brawl deck, the selection will get better. I hope so. Because this guy is definitely what needs to go out, even though he's got Afterlife. And this guy too. I mean, they're okay. They're not great. This guy's pretty good. Death Touch is wonderful on a one-on-one. But the red ones are all kind of, they're okay, but I'd like something better in the deck for all of these dudes. If they were in knights, they would have been taken out of this build altogether with all the other comments that I weeded out from the selection. And choosing a color, this card, I don't know how effective it's going to be, because you're going to have to pick your 3 colors, but I'll take it. So there you have it. These are the cards that are in, including the commander, of course, wherever she landed. And I'm not going to look for the commander right now. I'm just going to end the video right here. And the next video, I'll look at creatures.